up. Woo! Wherever I go, he goes with me. His arms are always open for a hug, because God's love is higher than the mountains. God's love is deeper than the sea. God's love is bigger than outer space. Woo! And I know that he loves me. Whoa, 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 whoa. Let's march. Wherever I go, he goes with me. Every time I fall, he picks me up. Whoop! Wherever I go, he goes with me. His arms are always open for a hug, because God's love is higher than the mountains. God's love is deeper than the sea. God's love is bigger than outer space. Woo! And I know that he loves me. Whoa, 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 whoa. Let me hear it. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Hello, friends. It's so good to see you all again. Let's start with the memory verse from last week. Say it for me. If you know it, stand up for me. If you know it, stand up. Well done. There's lots of you standing up. Now say the memory verse with me. And he will be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. Isaiah 9, verse 6. Well done, friends. Now, you go ahead and say it by yourself. And he will be... Well done, friends. Now, I'm a little bit... You can sit down, friends. But you need to help me because I'm a little bit confused. So the memory verse said, he will be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. Who do you think that verse is about? Who will be called that? The verse says, and he will be called. Well, who is he? I heard a few of you saying it. Jesus. That's so good. So today's story is about Jesus. Everything was ready. The moment God had been waiting for was here at last. God was coming to help his people just as he promised in the beginning. See, God gave us a promise. And now we're learning about it in today's story. And that promise was Jesus. But how would he come? Any ideas? Any ideas? How would Jesus come? Let's see. He's a Prince of Peace. I wonder if he's going to come with a big celebration, with loud noises, with trumpets. The prince has arrived. What would he be like? What would he do? Where would he be born? The prince. A mansion. A big house. Maybe. Let's see. So right here we see the angel Gabriel. And Gabriel came to a woman right here, and her name is Mary. And so The tall, shining man stood there, Gabriel, and Mary was frightened. You see her, who are you? And Mary was supposed to be, she was engaged to marry a man named Joseph. And she saw the man and was scared. She was frightened. And he said, you don't need to be scared. God is very happy with you. Now, she looked around. God is happy with me? She looked at me? Surely you're talking to someone else. And he said, Mary, you're going to have a baby, a little boy, and you will call him Jesus. He is God's own son. He is the one. He is the rescuer. The God who flung planets into space and kept them going around and around the world. The God who made the universe. The one that could do anything at all was making himself small and coming down as a baby. Wait, hold on a second. God was sending a baby to rescue the world? Wow. Now Mary was very excited. Her heart began to beat very quickly. And she said, it's too wonderful. How can it be true? And Gabriel said, is anything too wonderful for God? So Mary, she trusted God more than what her eyes could see. And she believed. She said, I am God's servant, and I will do what he says. So they were going to get married. And just as at that time, they had to go to Bethlehem. Bethlehem was where King David was from. Now, they took a donkey all the way to Bethlehem. They walked along, and they were very, very tired when they got to Bethlehem. Now, if you have ever gone with mommy or daddy, or with your grandparents, or with your uncle and aunt somewhere, you finally get to the hotel. You go in, you can sleep because you're finally there. Maybe you travel to grandma and grandpa's house, and finally you get there, and there's just one thing you want to do after a long journey in the car. We are here. Yay. So Mary and Joseph did exactly the same thing. They got there to the inn, the hotel, and they knocked on the door. They were ready to go to sleep. Go away. What? There's nowhere for you to stay here. Oh no. So they went to another place. Knock, knock, knock. Sorry, we don't have any rooms. Oh no. Where do you think they're going to stay? Any ideas? Shout them out. If you think you know, maybe a friend's house. Would you let them come and stay at your house if they knocked on your door? Maybe. So Joseph and Mary, let's see where they stayed. They couldn't find anywhere except an old, tumble-down stable. So they stayed where the cows and the donkeys and the horses stayed. Do you see this little stable here? They wanted to stay somewhere in here, but they had to stay in a stable. Wow. And Mary was about to give birth to Jesus. And there in the stable, amongst the chickens and the donkeys and the cows, in the quiet of the night, God gave the world his wonderful gift. The baby that would change the world was born, his baby son. Mary and Joseph wrapped him up. You see him here? They wrapped him up to keep him warm. They made a soft bed for him in the animal's feeding trough. as his cradle, and they gazed in wonder at God's great gift, wrapped in swaddling clothes and lying in a manger. Mary and Joseph named him Jesus, Emmanuel. And Emmanuel means God has come to live with us. Because of course he had. So friends, this is the story of Christmas. And in the next few weeks, I want you to celebrate that Jesus came to earth. Jesus came to fulfill God's promise. And we get to know Jesus. And we get to celebrate his birthday this year for Christmas. So friends, thank you so much for listening. Say with me the memory verse one more time. And he will be called. And he, who are they talking about? That's right, Jesus. Let's say it together. And he will be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. Isaiah 9, verse 6. Friends, it was so good to see you again today. Let's pray. Put your hands together for me. Jesus, thank you so much for this day where we could hear about you coming to the earth. Thank you that you were born for us. We love you. Amen. Bye, friends. I'll see you soon.